Very good morning to you. Labour has accused long-serving MP Dame Margaret Hodge of being disconnected with reality after she compared the anti-Semitism row to engulfing the party with Nazi Germany. Well, last month, Dame Margaret faced disciplinary action after being involved in a row with the party leader, Jeremy Corbyn. And now, in an exclusive interview with our deputy editor, Beth Rigby, she's expressed her concerns and fears that she felt.
For Dame Margaret Hodge, Labour's anti-Semitism row is personal.
And we're the only part of the family that has survived.
Harrowing family history. Her Jewish grandmother shot in a trench outside the gates of a concentration camp. This aunt left a widow after her husband was killed in Auschwitz. Relations broke down between Dame Margaret and her party leader over his handling of the definition of anti-Semitism last month. The row ended with Dame Margaret calling Jeremy Corbyn an anti-Semite. Have you spoken to him since?
No, I haven't. I did feel very bruised, and on the day that I heard that they were going to discipline me and possibly suspend me, it felt almost like I kept thinking, what did it feel like to be a Jew in Germany in the 30s? Because it felt almost as if they were coming for me. And it's rather difficult to define, but there's that fear. And it reminded me of what my dad used to say. He always said to me as a child, "You've got to keep a packed suitcase at the door, Margaret, in case you ever have to leave in a hurry."
Case dropped, but the row continues. Dame Margaret standing by her criticism of Jeremy Corbyn, who she believes is turning Labour into a hostile environment for Jews.
I think people have to be judged on their actions, not their words. And I stand by what I said until, by his actions, he shows me and everybody else that we were completely wrong.
How would you characterise your relationship with him now, with Jeremy Corbyn?
It's a very fine line between being pro-Palestinian, the Palestinian cause, which he's always believed in, and being anti-Semitic. And I think he's gone the wrong side of that line.
The row over anti-Semitism has dogged much of his leadership, and it will come to a head next month when the party has to vote on whether to adopt the international definition of anti-Semitism in full. In a statement responding to this interview, a Labour Party spokesperson said, "Jeremy is determined to tackle anti-Semitism in the Labour Party, so Jewish people feel it is a warm and welcoming home." The comparison of the Labour Party's disciplinary process with Nazi Germany is so extreme and disconnected from reality, it diminishes the seriousness of the issue of anti-Semitism. For Corbyn supporters, there's suspicion that his opponents are using this row to undermine his leadership.
The idea that I should use the issue of anti-Semitism as part of my campaign against his position as leadership is abhorrent to me. That the last thing I would do is use it as a weapon in a political battle about personalities in the Labour Party. So I find that offensive.
But the row over anti-Semitism in Labour has become a lightning rod between pro- and anti-Corbyn factions, and this latest war of words suggests peace is some way off. Beth Rigby, Sky News.
Well, our political correspondent Tom Rayner is in Westminster for us now. Tom, where do things go now for Jeremy Corbyn?
Well, as you heard in Beth's report there, Labour MPs will get a chance to vote on whether they think that this issue that is at the crux of the row, the confrontation that took place between Dame Margaret Hodge and Jeremy Corbyn over whether or not the party should adopt all the examples on the lists of potential examples of anti-Semitism as set out by the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance. They will get a vote on that in September. That, of course, is after the National Executive Committee decided to omit 4 examples, including a number which they said they believed prevented criticism of Israel. Now, there has been speculation, although there's been no official change from the Labour leader in terms of his position on this, or indeed the National Executive Committee's position on this. There has been increasing speculation in Westminster that a decision could be taken by the National Executive Committee ahead of Labour MPs voting to adopt the full list. that is partly as a result of growing pressure coming from some unions. We've heard already from the leaders of the GMB union, Unison, and yesterday the General Secretary of Unite, the largest union, Len McCluskey, added his voice to that, saying he believed the party should adopt all the examples as set out in the IHRA definition. But in the article in which he made that point, he also criticised the Jewish community and some groups within the Jewish community, saying they simply couldn't take yes for an answer. And what he's referring to there is the fact that he believes that Jeremy Corbyn has said that he is listening to concerns about anti-Semitism, has committed to try and deal with anti-Semitism, but that these Jewish groups that he points to are, he says, not acknowledging that. And he says that there is a risk of this whole issue descending into what he describes as a vortex of McCarthyism. He also lashes out at some Corbyn sceptic Labour MPs, saying they're trying to use this as a way of undermining his leadership. But as things stand, it is going to be next month when that vote takes place, but all eyes will be on whether or not there is a shift from the party leadership prior to that.
OK, Tom, thank you.